Welcome to your lesson on sentence pattern number 2, S, fbS. Let's review. What do you need to make a sentence a sentence? First of all, you need a subject. That's a who or a what that's doing the action. Second of all, you need a verb. That's the action of your subject. And then finally, you need a complete thought. You should be able to imagine that you're talking to Uncle Joe, and if what you have written makes sense all by itself, you're probably good to go. See why we learned S first? Because every time you write an S in this or any other sentence pattern of S, FBS, you should be able to identify these components of each sentence. So, in S, FBS, you're going to start with a sentence, follow it with a comma, follow that with a fanboys, and then follow it with another sentence. What in the world's a fanboy, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. Fanboys is an acronym. Each letter stands for one of the 7 words and the only 7 words in the English language that you can use to connect 2 sentences with a comma. And those words are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. See how it spells fanboys, but it also stands for all 7 words? Let me tell you, these are some powerful words. Not only can you use them for grammatical purposes, but you can use them like a kung fu master to strike fear in the heart of your opponent or anyone in particular that you would like to see lead the scene. I will demonstrate. For and nor, but, or, yet. So, if you do a few kicks and punches as you say it, you'll be pretty intimidating. They've got multiple uses, but you want to remember and use them carefully as you use them for grammatical purposes. There are a few that are a little tricky. Let me demonstrate. Let's take this sentence. I went to the car for my mama's pocketbook. Is this an S, FBS? For is definitely a fanboy. It's at the top of the list. But does that mean that every time we use the word for or and or nor or but or yet or so that we need a comma? We have to check and see if there's a sentence on both sides. Let's look at what comes in front of our comma. I went to the car. Is that a sentence by itself? Why, yes. I went is your subject and verb. Let's check what comes on the other side of the sentence because it's S, FBS. If you walked up to Uncle Joe and you said, "Hey, Uncle Joe, my mama's pocketbook," I imagine he would be rather confused because there is no subject, there is no verb, and therefore there is no complete thought. Uncle Joe would be like, "You crazy kids and your sentence fragments, get away from me." So I will say no. This is not an S, FBS. Every time you have the word for and nor, but, or, yet, so does not necessarily mean that you need a comma in front of it. It's only when you have 2 sentences, one on each side of the fanboy, that you need a comma. So I hope it makes sense that I went to the car for my mama's pocketbook is just one complete thought with one subject and verb. I went, and it all goes together. So you have to understand that different words in the English language are like they go to Halloween parties from time to time and they dress up as other things. They are not always only themselves. So you have to have 2 sentences on both sides for the fanboy to actually be a fanboy. So instead of writing, "I went to the car for my mama's pocketbook," we could say, "I went to the car, comma, for my poor mama left her pocketbook inside," and then you have your original subject and verb, and the "I went to the car," and then you have a subject and verb and mama left. In your second sentence, it is perfectly fine for you just to say, "I went to the car for my poor mama left her pocketbook inside." Uncle Joe would be happy either way, as long as he understands. Alright, so let's remember your fanboys, for and nor, but, or, yet, so, and let's look at a few that are pretty simple to use from the get-go. And, but, or, and so need no special rules. So let's check out these S, FBS's. Sally ordered pizza, comma, and she got some breadsticks as well. We have 2 complete thoughts on both sides. The delivery man was late, comma, but Sally still gave him a tip. Once again, 2 complete thoughts. Should Sally eat all the pizza herself, comma, or should she share some with her dog Roscoe? Now we have 2 questions joined with an or, which is perfectly fine as well. Sally decided to share, comma, so Roscoe was a happy puppy. So we have and, but, or, and so are pretty easy to use, but there are some of the other fanboys that require a few special rules. In for and nor, but, or, yet, so we have the fanboy nor. It has two special rules. The first is that the first sentence must have a negative word in it, like not or no, such as we could say, Sally did not know that dogs shouldn't eat that much pizza. The second rule is that the second sentence must be written as if it was a question, if it were all by itself, such as, nor did she enjoy cleaning up the mess he made afterwards. If you just said, did she enjoy cleaning up the mess he made afterwards? It would sound like a sentence. It's not a sentence because it's written with a nor. Sorry, not a sentence, a question. It's not a question because it's written with a nor. So you have to write the second sentence as if it was a question, if it were all by itself. One more fanboy has a special rule. For and nor but or yet so, and you may can guess, it is the fanboy yet. Its rule is that the second sentence must reveal a little bit of a surprise. For example, Sally's puppy sure was a lot of work for Sally, which makes it sound like that Sally may not be very happy about the puppy ownership thing, but a little bit of surprise is coming, comma yet, she wouldn't trade him for anything. And there you have it, folks. For and nor, but or yet and so are your 7 words in the English language that can connect 2 sentences with a comma. And that's what you got in sentence pattern number 2. Tune in next time for sentence patterns number 3 and 4. I'll see you soon.